Makes sense. Right, okay, what about this then? In terms of that actual team, right, I don't want to go super deep on the whole Destiny angle, etc., but, like, was he one of the players that had the issues in the lineup, do you think? Like, was this a team where, like did the team actually, was it coherent? Did the team actually fit together, do you think, this line of 5 players? Like, was there ever a period you felt like it was going well, it was actually legit?
For sure. I think in spring, I was, like, actually pretty optimistic. I mean, obviously, honeymoon phase, like, we had, like, some pretty good players. Like, I was really happy to play with Circe and Upset. And Destiny, I mean, I really like the guy. I think he's, like, not actually bad. I think he's, like, fine. I mean, he wasn't like a player I was excited to play with, let's be real, compared to upsetting Circe. So I was, like, really hyped anyway. And I was also, like, I thought we had a really good coaching staff with Gelotto and Case, to be fair, compared to, like, most other teams. So, I mean, we had a decent spring, I think. I can't remember exactly how it went.
I think you maybe came, like, 4th or something off the top of my head, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember either, actually, but...
it's decent, though, yeah.
In playoffs, I thought we were... Like, I thought it was actually possible to beat teams like G2 and Fnatic. Didn't happen. And I started seeing, like, more and more flaws within, like, some of the players that I was, like, previously super excited to play with. Like, for example, like Circe. So I thought he was really insane on Splice, and I thought he was, like, still good to okay on Origin, but I started seeing, like, his flaws more and more as I played with him. So he's, like, really good at being efficient and, like, farming his jungle and basically, like, being kind of greedy. But then when it's, like, Pantheon Elise meta versus Jankos and Selfmade, I think he was, like, slightly, just, like, a little bit worse, honestly, compared to these guys when it comes to, like, ganking, hardcore, like, ganking junglers, like Pantheon Elise. This was the meta for a little bit, like, going into playoffs. Then he's just, like, not as optimal. And the thing is, as well, I think on paper it kind of made sense, but I think the personalities really didn't work well together either. What I mean by this is, like, I've always said Upset is, like, very vocal, especially early game, and quite demanding as a player. And Circe is a guy who, like, wants to play for, or, like, he kind of wants, like, he favors for sure, like, playing for himself and, like, just farming efficiently and, looking for, like, counter gank angles rather than, like, being super proactive, I would say. This is how I thought he was, and the more I played with him. But he also wasn't, like, a very, I don't know how to say it, like, he wasn't super, he didn't, like, stand up for his, like, opinions very well.
Right.
And with having Upset as his AD carry, it didn't really work too well sometimes, I think. Because Upset would,
So you're just getting drugged bot all game long, basically.
Exactly. Like,
okay.
not even, yes, I mean, sometimes, but not even. It's, like, in discussions as well. Upset was, like, very vocal.
Right.
And, I think that Circe just, like, lacked maybe confidence. I'm not sure, especially as, like, a split went on. It's like, as the year went on, rather. I mean, obviously, everyone started losing confidence too. But I think, like, upsetting Circe together, that was, like, a bad match. Or at least if you, like, wanted these players, then you needed to have, like, a really strict coaching staff to, like, kind of make the conversations actually work, rather than just, like, one-sided, which is what was happening, I think, sometimes, just making, like, one-sided conversations. Because, like, Upset was just, like, rather than, like, talking with each other, like, Upset was talking to him. So I think in terms of players, it was, like, really exciting to start off with. I think going into spring playoffs, I was really confident that we could actually win. But then a lot of shit happened. Like, we had, champion pool issues. We had a few playstyle issues. Like we said, we weren't super proactive. Circe naturally wanted to, like, play a little bit more for himself, which is okay if, like, the meta allows it, right? But then Nuke as well, like, wants to play, like, a little bit more for himself rather than Rome at the time as well, which is okay as well if the meta allows it. But at the time, it was.
Do you think actually the meta basically also fucked the lineup? Because, like, put it this way, like, even the team, I get that was the era, if people can remember. This is when basically it was all about just dragon stacking, wasn't it? Like, you basically, like, for a start off, someone like Nuke, that takes away one of his main strengths. Like, he's not going to be sidling on almost any of these games, is he? He's just going to have to group like everyone else and have a normal team fight. Like, it must have killed some of the sort of, like, the hype of having not only some of these players, but even having a coaching staff, people who can be creative. There wasn't much room for creativity, right?
Yeah, that's true, actually. It was very much just you have to group and fight. So yeah, I mean, Nuclear's like super good at playing side lane. He's super good at laning. I also think he's good enough at LEC still. I think he's like gone a lot of flank. Maybe like undeservedly a little bit. But I mean, I think he has limits. I think he has like some playstyle issues, like I said. But yeah, I mean, the meta was not great. I think the like player personalities altogether were not great. And then as well, like Destiny and Upset was not a great pairing. I mean, it was a pairing that was like, made out of necessity, right?
Yes.
And Upset was like used to pretty high standards of playing with supports. He had played with like Ignar, and I don't know who else he played with, but he previously played with Ignar, who's like, very good laning, very good like aggressive playmaking. And Destiny coming from Oceania, like he's like similar playstyle and they have similar strengths, but he's just like he wasn't there like at the same level as Ignar at the time, I think. So it was a little bit of a struggle in terms of like stress for Upset to play with him. And then obviously like stresses everyone out as well when, it's like conflicts arising in the team, like tensions just keep rising, and then going to playoffs, like more stresses come, etc. So it was a lot of things, honestly, I mean, this is like only talking about spring as well, by the way. Like it just got only worse and worse after spring playoffs like failed. It just seemed like really hard to make it worse. I mean, not to make it worse, but to win a split. I think it seemed really hard to be like realistic with ourselves that we'd be able to beat like Fnatic or G2. But I still thought that making Worlds was like really like it should have been like I don't know, very, very possible. Even with all these issues that we had in terms of play styles and like etc. like player personalities, I think we should still had like for sure within our potential to make it to Worlds. Just after spring playoffs, like there was no like coming back mentally. I think actually like the team atmosphere just got worse and worse in between summer and spring. There's like a whole thing where Upset tried to get Destiny. Oh, no, not Upset, but like there was like talks about trying to get Destiny off the team and like try to get like even like I don't know. I think we wanted to get Labrov, but then he joined Fatality because we didn't have enough money. And then we were even like discussing Sprattle. Or like we were like there was like no one really available, right? So and we didn't have much budget, so and then like Destiny like heard that there were like discussions about replacing him. So when he was already like feeling like distrust building in the team already, the team atmosphere just like kept getting worse. Case got fired because of I don't even know, to be honest. Like
something like flaming people in solo queue or something stupid, like some weird angle like that, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like flamed someone in solo queue in like a goal 3 game. It's like, okay, like come on, like is it really that relevant? And I don't know what he said even, but I mean everyone's toxic sometimes. So I guess he had to use something really bad. Case got fired, and Gelato was also like always used to working with like someone else. And after Case got fired, it was like really like he was like alone in the coaching staff.
Right.
And when there were like so many personality clashes, him being kind of like by himself in terms of coaching, like I mean, Red the Fish, you like help sometimes, but he was like GM. It was like pretty much I would say just Galotto like going at it by himself, just trying to make the team work. And when there were like such huge personalities on the team and like such big, I guess, tensions, etc., it just kept getting worse. And yeah, then we didn't even make playoffs as a result.